scary.
Seinfuck.
My strategy to succeed in No Nut November is to edge myself until it's painful. And then I did that before work. And
What?
yeah, I mean, it was working so far. But my fucking nuts feel like someone ran over them with a fucking apple cart. So
Wait, this is still going on?
Hmm?
No.
Have you been edging you've been edging for 9 days? You know what? This is why Arizona needs daylight savings time. Because at least like
you're gonna fault us on the hour advantage.
Yeah.
You saying that the hour that I had to edge was one too many?
I think that's probably what I should have done. My strategy should have been like, I gotta not nut until the daylight savings time happens. Like that's
Therefore, you can get the hour
It's like
advantage.
4 days, though. You're supposed to last the whole month, Malcolm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not a semen retention.
I'm just not even gonna try to do the whole month. I mean,
Listen,
it's the
Yeah,
point.
that's
granted.
out of
I'm
the
not-
cards.
yeah,
that
that's-
is dumb.
Yeah, listen, I can't do that. I got,
Let's not get carried away.
I'm a virile young man. I gotta go. Sometimes I just gotta go. All right. Sometimes you gotta bust. All right. And there's no shame in busting. All right. Everyone talks about they got this bust
Like
shame.
the Ghostbusters said, busting makes me feel good.
Exactly. All right.
I am actually here for the counter take. There is shame in what you're doing.
What is this point counterpoint?
Listen.
All right, I'm the moderator this
Free
week.
yourself from the shackles of shame. Come.
The question: to bust or not to bust?
You're literally just supposed to stand there, go like, and nod every once in a while,
Yeah,
just like perfectly in frame and stiff.
Like-
What do you think about that, Malcolm?
Listen, I don't buy into this propagation. I don't buy into this propaganda, all right? I feel like I need to be like like a pastor for busting, being like, ladies and gentlemen,
That's a good way to get in jail.
Malcolm, the busting pasture.
ladies and
That's a great way to get in
gentlemen,
jail.
there's a devil inside all of you, all right? And you need to let that devil free, all right? I'm talking.
You need to release that demon.
Release that
Foghorn
demon.
Leghorn. Every impression Malcolm does comes down to a Foghorn Leghorn impression.
It does. It's like just bordering on southern pastor.
Yeah.
And I say, bust a nut.
I say, bust a nut. I need you all
I
to.
say, brother, bust that nut.
I go, brother, you gotta bust that nut, and we gotta bring it down a little bit, all right?
Sing it with me now. Sing it with me, child. Bust with me, Lord.
Oh, Lord, bust with me, Lord.
Robert's actually
Bust with me, Lord.
Come and
Bust
bust.
on and long.
Everybody bust with me.
Oh, Lord, won't you bust?
Oh, why don't you bust? Why don't you bust? Why don't you bust?
Oh, I can't feel my face.
that was really good, Malcolm.
Thank you.
That was great. Good job. Coming out on Spotify next week.
Yeah,
Bust with me, Lord.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
fuck
gonna write
the
that
podcast,
song.
Malcolm.
Yeah, I gotta write that song, and I'll perform it in a future episode.
Can you imagine it's a Holy Rollers assembly and Malcolm is just smack dab in the middle of the back row?
Just in like a giant like 3-piece suit. And he's just like, oh, won't you bust?
No, he's got to have the velvety purple gown on that the choir wears.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I'm gonna be bejeweled. I'm gonna be bedazzled.
He's at some like Second Baptists in Louisiana. He's just
That's fantastic. So anyway, my balls are engorged with semen, and I'm at the office, right? And
Yeah, sorry.
people
We
people notice that I'm walking funny, and they're just like, Harper, what happened to you? And I can't be like, I masturbated for too long, and now my fucking entire lower half of my body hurts. I was convinced I gave myself testicular torsion,
you're just that vigorous.
It sucked, dude. And I'm like, oh, I rollerblade, and I must have fallen down, and I had a little.
I think rollerblading is almost like a little sadder.
Yeah. That's actually a question. Are you cooler if you got blown while wearing or rollerblading in general, or if you were just rollerblading and you didn't bust a nut?
Is she on rollerblades too while she's blowing me? Are we rolling?
Wait, so we're like going down Santa Monica Pier. She's like squat rolling.
Yeah, that or you've got the roller rink to yourself, and then life happens.
Life happens. I beat my meat until it hurt and tried to get up and go to the office. It hurt to sit in the car. It was so bad.
Don't edge before you go to work.
Stop edging.
What, you just want me to not bust on No Nut November? I get it.
Just don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, if you're feeling the sensation,
Jesus.
you just got to helicopter it in the shower.
Ugh.
Malcolm,
The judgment.
that does nothing for me.
Why would it do anything for anyone?
No, it's just a way of moving it, but without touching.
Ugh.
That was my 2 cents. Robert, when did you fail No Nut November?
I like that next morning, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm the winner.
So yeah, I think
I
Harper
win.
won that one this year.
It should be no contest. Like that thing should go across our screen. But
the Smash Brothers bit. Sasha, put that in.
No contest.
Great. Good.
yeah, just a slight soundbite. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
guys.
just enough not to get like a
contest.
copyright strike. Just enough to be like.
I mean, it's a 3-second sound.
If we
It'll be
get if we get hit for a 2-second fucking soundbite, we deserve it.
Nintendo, very litigious. They got pitbull lawyers. And they're coming after us.
Oh dear. What were we talking about before the podcast? We were talking about theaters.
Oh yeah, we were talking about movie theaters and movie etiquette because listen, I don't go to church. I'm not a religious man. But the closest that I come.
He's only going to church when he's recording his hit new song.
Yeah.
Lord
Okay,
bless
actually, we
you.
gotta cut that because this is gonna ruin the whole my vibe. All right.
You
Okay.
can't bear fault witness. It's against the
Bare fault
rules.
wasn't. It's there in the commandments.
Yeah, because that's gonna ruin, it's gonna ruin a big money making opportunity for me. All right, so so we disregard that. I go to church every Sunday.
You can't bear false witness. He doesn't like it.
And sometimes Mondays,
Wednesdays, or
Wednesdays,
Saturdays,
Fridays.
depending.
my whole social
Depends
I
on
just-
what you're doing.
my whole social circles.
I've never gone to church on a Monday.
Before the podcast, me and Malcolm were talking about how pissed off we were when trying to see a fucking movie, and some guy's got his fucking phone out. He's enlarging his text to show his fat wife next to him how funny he thinks this Facebook meme is. And you could hear the chortling and spitting popcorn pellets out.
Like, here's the thing. I'm so disappointed in my generation, the generation after us, where we've gone from for me, I love going to the movies. Like, it is a real outing I love doing, and I'm very much I'm very comfortable just going to a movie by myself if I really want to see it. If I'm like, this is a movie I got to see, I have no shame in that game. But I will say that it does piss me off when I see someone get on their phone. If you're gonna get on your phone at a movie, you gotta be sitting in the back corner. All right, don't you gotta sit where by the wall. I don't want to see your fucking screen. Because honestly, in my opinion, if I see your screen, I get to kick your seat a little bit. I think that's a fair.
I've started throwing stuff at him.
It's like an airplane. You know how people get upset when you go a little too far back, and then they don't realize they can go back, and it's just a chain of until the very end of the plane. It's but you do that, but they sometimes do that little kick where they're just
That is so dumb. I mean, just be a man and talk hey, could you please put your seat up a bit? Come on, you're gonna kick the back of someone's seat. That is the worst.
It's happened.
The worst kind of passive aggressiveness.
I will do that passive aggressiveness if I see a cell phone out in the theater. If you gotta take a call, if you see it, and you see a number, you're like, oh shit, leave the theater. Go, piece it.
I've genuinely confronted people for having their phone out or answering calls in the middle of phones. Because a lot of the time when I used to go to the theaters, a lot of times I did it during the day in between classes. And so you get in the day crowd where there's barely anybody in it. So barely anyone cares except me.
Yeah. I guess if you're if it's a couple people and you're spread far enough away, that can be okay. If it's one person's over in the
for
right
checking texts, not for answering phone calls.
Yeah, no answering phone calls. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even like checking texts. Usually, I have mine basically on airplane mode. I'm in the
Yeah,
theater.
you shouldn't be checking text either because it creates an ambient glow to people seated next to you, which ruins the theater going experience. That's the whole thing.
Exactly.
I was at a fucking Santa Capri, which is the big deal movie theaters out here with the comfortable seats that you can lean back in and get sucked off.
The Santa Capri.
The Santa Capri. The seats have lights in them to indicate which seat is yours for the waiter who will bring you your chicken tendies that cost you $20.
I mean, yeah.
I had to put something over mine because it was so fucking distracting. I'm trying to watch the new Dune and like it's loud.
Yeah, you just have like a permanent glow at the bottom of your eye while you're trying to watch
on either side
a
of your
movie.
eyes. Yeah, it's like fucking sitting with the sun behind you.
No, I really hate those like restaurant movie theater bullshit. Just fucking watch a movie. Dear God. You don't need a movie and a meal. That's what dinner afterwards is for. So you can actually talk about the movie. Maybe
you talk about the movie. You enjoy your chicken tenders at an Arby's like everybody else.
Exactly. I mean, and also movies are not a good first or second date. Movies are like you're in something that's a little like more, right?
You get a hand job at the movie theater.
And if you're going to go on a date at a movie, go to like one of the VIP like cinemas, like with the fancy chairs, and like kind of splurge there. All right. I made the mistake. I've talked about it a little bit on the last podcast. I saw Killers of the Flower Moon. That's a long movie. I wasn't in the big comfy seats. Kind of regret that.
Oh yeah, you probably were hurting by the end of it.
Yeah, I've got long legs. I've never been. I wonder with the big comfy seats. This has never happened to me. I'll admit on the podcast, I've never been sucked or jerked off in a movie theater.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Have you ever been sucked, Harper? We gotta, what if you got blown to a movie, have you gotten blown? And then to what movie?
To Thor.
To Thor? Oh my God, that's too many children.
Wait, have we talked about this? I'm not sure.
No, we haven't talked about this. I've never, to be honest, there was one time I was on a date with a girl and she was like, want to do some hands stuff? I'm too much of a movie guy. I was like, get your fucking hands away from me.
You're so ridiculous.
It's just like, don't touch me.
You're such a fucking dork. You're just like, I'm trying to watch Saw 13, please.
Yeah, I was like, please, this is sacred territory, all right? Don't make me bust at the Scotiabank Theater, all right?
Didn't we see something at the Scotiabank?
We did. We saw Cocaine Bear.
Okay, well, maybe getting a hand job during Cocaine Bear is a little...
I did not come a handy during Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, no, of course not. He would never. I would swat that hand away.
I tried. He wasn't into it.
I go, no.
No, this is a sacred space.
Yeah.
If you want to get a hand job from Robert, I hear he's really good at it.
What the fuck? You gotta, okay. Who did you hear that from? Come on.
Huh?
Who did you hear that from?
Hear that from? You told me. You brag about it all the time.
What?
You say I got the fastest hands in the West.
Fastest hands in the West. Okay.
You got the fastest.
Sure.
I can make any dick come in 30 seconds or less, guaranteed. Money back.
Money back.
Money, but God damn it, Harper! What is this? This is slander.
I'm just like, well, I thought we were going to the pub and grub, but I guess I got time for that. If you got 30 seconds,
just in the alley behind the pub and grub.
Right. But anyway, we were talking about movies you gotten sucked and fucked to. Robert, I think it's your turn to share.
We had mentioned this like lightly before we recorded the podcast, but I've been blown in 2 movies.
In two movies.
Yes. Well, that list would go a lot longer.
Yeah.
However, one of them was the local theater, right? The one at our local mall.
Yeah. Well, I say local at the time.
Sure, yeah, local at the time. Not local anymore, local at the time. I will tell you that fucking movie theater is a dump. You're slumming it. You can fucking thinking that you can get a hand job there from anybody.
Including the umpires or whatnot.
The umpires. Can you imagine a fucking guy in the full protective gear, the cage mask? He's just like, so you want it or no?
Well, that's after the baseball game. Wait, what are they called? Who are the people who go around the movie theaters? Usher, not the umpire. I'm trying to think of what movies they were like specifically, and I think one of them was that weird zombie movie, which was just like
you were like Zombievers or some bad like schlocky movie like that.
I think I know which one you're talking about. The one where the guy's like dead, but he can go. Like,
Warm Bodies.
Oh, yeah.
2013.
Okay.
It was enjoyable. I mean,
I could definitely get jerked off to that movie.
It was Romeo and Juliet meet zombies, which was it had its appeal. And then I'm not sure if I remember the second movie. I remember the girl. I'm not sure if I remember the movie.
That'd be wild if you were like, I remember this movie, but man, the girl, forgettable.
Ugh, the face is it's blank up there.
I think it's good that you can remember the girl better. Good on you, Robert. What a gentleman.
Oh yeah, definitely getting blown in movie theaters. The most gentlemanly conduct.
It's so funny. I was talking to someone about the podcast. They're like, "What do you guys talk about?" And I just realized this whole episode we've only been talking about busting. Like
That's our brand. That's our core audience.
yeah,
Come, yes.
Come, yes.
yeah,
Come, people who come and enjoy come. That's
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
this podcast.
I gotta be honest. I have a little going off a little bit off the beaten path. YouTube broke me. I regrettably not regrettably, but begrudgingly went and bought or paid for YouTube Premium.
You have YouTube Premium.
You piece of shit.
I know.
Scab.
I'm so mad. Because
you could have just texted me. I could have given you all the ad block information that you needed. I don't watch ads, I don't.
I use ad blockers for everything except for, and then YouTube just started. They started going like, oh, can you opt out of ads, or you like opt into ads, and like I had a little hack for a little bit. Like I watch YouTube mostly on my computer, like when I'm working. And so I was like, what, like I'd be like in different browsers. I noticed like it stopped working on Firefox, and I moved to Chrome, and then I moved to Edge, and then, and I was like, I'm going to move to the next one. And then they were just like, it's kind of like, I guess, I don't know, not House of Cards. It's like dominoes falling. It was just like each kind of browser.
Yeah, you're just, you've been cornered. You're gradually being cornered in like an alleyway.
Yeah. My hope is that I was looking into it. There's already a lawsuit happening against YouTube in Europe, in the EU, where they're alleging that the way they've tracked people who are using ad blocker is actually against, at least like EU like laws in terms of like
against
how they're
EU
getting
regulation.
how they're getting information,
like,
because they're not supposed to get information outside of the website, and it's like pretty clear they got it outside the website.
Yeah, they're buying it from data brokers or like they're
exactly. So my hope is that maybe the EU, much like how the EU broke Apple and made them get away from like the Thunder, was it not Thunder cables? What is it called? Lightning cable.
Oh,
when it comes,
why don't I know about what this is? Lightning cable.
you know how like iPhones and like the iPods, like they all had like a very specific cable type.
Oh yeah. Now that they have to use the generalized cables.
Basically, the EU broke them and said like, we're gonna have to do it here, and then they realized like, well, if we're gonna have to do it in the EU, we're gonna have to do it everywhere. So now
they've also lost several planned obsolescence lawsuits and anti-consumer practices, like the repair blocking and stuff like that on iPhones.
Yeah. Right to repair legislation's gone through, and regulations.
Which, by the way, right to repair, you should be able to like repair your stuff. Like, there's a whole thing with the tractors, with farmers, where you're like, you're gonna go against the farmers? Go fuck yourselves, all right? So like the fact that like John Deere could like remotely lock down your tractor if you don't like pay for a firmware update is the most insane thing I have ever heard in my life. Yeah, for guys who barely know how the internet works, you know.
And DLC as well for your fucking car these days with the heated seat subscriptions you have to BMW cars. It's just too much.
I think that was almost made illegal immediately, because there was like a safety thing of like, if you get trapped in the snow, that you have to be able to warm your car up. At least for a little while.
Didn't just something recently like be revealed, the fact that like car manufacturers have no obligation not to keep and like and save your text messages if you've linked your phone to your car?
God, what dystopia is this? It's just always something. The car company having your fucking saucy texts to the missus.
Yeah.
Just sexting your girlfriend while you're just waiting for your Tesla to charge, and all of a sudden, like, you gotta stop that. That's far too horny. We're locking down your car.
Imagine if you like were like, you're chatting with multiple girls, you're cheating on, your girlfriend. You got your side bitches, and then it turns out like your main girl found out about like the side bitches from just like, oh, BMW told me about this, like your car.
BMW, yeah, I paid them a ransom.
Yeah, Kia told me. Kia, who's Kia? Why are you talking to Kia?
Wait, I didn't know you have a friend named Kia. No, Kia, the manufacturer. They made your car. car. Your Kia
Dude.
Sorento was.
Yeah, your Kia Sorento has my back, you fucking lying bastard.
You
On one
fucking
hand,
piece of
if I
shit.
owned the car, I would kind of think like, well, it's the least they could do.
But if it was like opposite, I mean, I'm sure that there's some fucking psychopath out there who's like, God damn, I love Tesla. They let me know that my girlfriend was cheating on me. They saved me from this. Have you seen like the build quality posts about the Tesla truck thing? Oh my god, it's so bad. It looks like a microwave from the 2000s.
Yeah, the Cybertruck.
Yeah, the Cybertrucks. It looks like a microwave from the 2000s.
Have you seen the view behind it in traffic? Like what it would look like to be behind a Cybertruck in traffic?
It's so crazy. It looks like a pancake.
It does. It looks like a box.
Ugh. Yeah, it looks specifically designed to kill bicyclists.
Yeah, I saw there's
That's pretty good.
a video, like there's like I guess the AV Club has like a car spin-off blog. Like that's like all about like people obsessed with car culture. It's called, I think it's called Jalopnik. It's Jalopnik. I've only read the word, I don't know how to pronounce it. But they have this article, and the headline for the article is a real article that they published on Tuesday, was even in matte black, the Tesla Cybertruck still looks like shit. If this prototype is indicative of the production Cybertruck's build quality, it's going to be a disaster.
Thank God. More people need to be saying it, frankly.
I mean, like even just Tesla build quality in general is just, it's not good. I mean, I don't want to upset him, but my brother-in-law recently bought a Tesla, or we were driving to San Diego, and it was a very, very hot day. And I guess it's a known issue that if you use cruise control on like above 110 degree temperatures, like in the upper hundreds Fahrenheit, or in the, in the hundreds Fahrenheit, where it's fucking hot, the car can just stop. And so we were behind a semi, and like all of a sudden the car kept on jolting stop behind us. And it was,
yeah, there's a lot of issues with like just Teslas in general. But one of the crazy things with the Cybertruck that like I didn't notice until I saw the photo of the matte black is that apparently the windshield wiper is one very long wiper. Like it's just one incredibly long wiper.
Oh my God, you're right.
And apparently they were trying to make the whole car like bulletproof. Like there was like Elon Musk went on to like Joe Rogan Experience, and then like Joe Rogan shot an arrow at it, which I was like, any car was going to stop an arrow. Like almost any car was going to stop an arrow. But it's like crazy how bad this car looks.
I mean, let's face it, none of us are going to Mars. We've all smoked menthols and broken bones. We can't make it to space. You ever heard that wives' tale, Malcolm? Do you know if this is true, Robert?
Yeah, I've heard it. I have no idea how true it is, but I mean, it does sound kind of like a old wives' tale, sort of like conspiracy theory thing.
What they say is that the crystallized menthol that you smoke hardens in space for some reason, like with low atmosphere.
It calcifies.
It calcifies and causes your lungs to seize up.
Yeah, it just sounds like, I don't know. Yeah, it seems like a very like 50s thing. Being like, oh, gee willikers, it looks like you can't be an astronaut anymore because you've been smoking those menthols.
I've smoked too much asbestos. I can't go to space.
You gotta smoke those menthols. You should be smoking these Camels, cool and fresh.
Yeah.
Those new ones don't seem to be doing you too well, that bud.
Yeah. Have I introduced you to my colleague, Dr. Marlboro?
It's just the camel mascot in the lab go, well, kids, what you really need to know is that you ever want to grow up to be an astronaut, you can't smoke menthols. Try new Marlboro's Originals. They're great. No, Mr. Marlboro, you can't do that one.
It just becomes Tony the Tiger.
It just devolves. Is his nose blue or black, Malcolm? Quickly!
I think it's blue. Is it black? I always just thought it was orange.
Clearly not from the right time, Ryan, if you thought his fucking nose was blue at any point in your life.
Which, by the way, have we talked about when a Mandela effect actually became a term?
This was a fucking trivia question, yeah. I don't know when I heard it, but I think it was like in the 80s. Some point.
Well, the main thing with the Mandela effect was that there was originally like a bunch of people remembered reading about him dying in like the 70s and 80s, And then we're very surprised, like come the 90s when he became president, like, I thought he died in prison or something like that. And that like spawned the Mandela effect, but it didn't really get popularized until like, the main, like the internet really took off like post 2009. Okay, yeah, we were playing the new Jackbox, which is this cool new game called Time Jinx. And you're basically asked to pick a date within a specific range for when something happened. And one of the questions was like, when was the beginning of the term Mandela effect? And I like thought it meant like, when did like people say they thought, Mandela died? So I picked like the 1980s, gained a bunch of points because it's like golf. If you get points, as far as you were off on the date, you get those points. So the closer you are, the better.
Yeah.
But it was a really fun game. I would definitely recommend the new Jackbox.
Yeah, Jackbox are still good. Like I know like they kind of had a bit of a peak during the pandemic, but like it's fun to go and hang out with people, whether it's online, in person, and play some Jackbox. It's still a great time.
Yeah, I mean that was like 90% of what we did during the pandemic was play Jackbox, and I got just blackout drunk most of the time while living at my parents' house.
Yeah, if we weren't playing Jackbox, we were playing Among Us, and then screaming, being like, "You're the imposter! I saw you!" and then being like, "I was wrong."
Just breaking friendships.
Yeah, that or the thing if you were the imposter, you think you're gonna clean kill, someone walks in, and you just go, "Oh fuck." Oh no.
Do you ever play? We didn't really play too much together during the pandemic there, Harper. Did you play Among Us?
No. I didn't play Among Us, no.
You were just busy playing like Roblox or something?
I don't associate with Zoomers on any level. I play World of Warcraft, I play PS2 games, I watch sports, I don't associate with them. I don't care how busting on God for real it is.
Yeah, no matter how boozy your fate is.
I think their lexicon is heavily abused. I think the fact that fucking talking heads sometimes use W instead of win is pretty horrific.
So if like a sportscaster just now, while they're watching the Coyotes game and let's say they win, they go, "Massive W today, bros." You hate it?
Yeah, I hate it.
This is not what I signed up for. Oh man, you know what? I said we talked about hockey there. Have we talked about
no no hockey talk.
No, you don't want to talk about the drunk hockey player who was like they released the body cam.
We're going to talk about Galchenyuk, yeah.
Okay, we can talk about that. Go on, you guys go off. I'll fade into the background for a minute or two.
Coyotes legend Alex Galchenyuk's arrest video released earlier this week, where he was found to verbally threaten all the police officers that surrounded him. I didn't realize this was in broad daylight, by the way, originally. I did not know that this arrest took place during like morning.
For those who don't know, it's that Alex Galchenyuk is a former third overall pick of the Montreal Canadiens. He's played in the NHL for about a decade. He's bounced around with a lot of different teams. Over that decade, he's kind of considered a little bit of a bust, although he kind of has stayed in the NHL. And anyways, he was signed to a contract with the Arizona Coyotes, a team he's previously played for. He was supposed to play for them this season, but instead, he's now playing in Russia because he is part, we found out, Belarusian. And he's out in Russia now playing in the NHL, instead of playing in the NHL. And it's because of this drunken tirade he went on after a hit and run, which turns out was in broad daylight. It was July 9th.
What? I didn't know about the hit and run thing.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a like homicide hit and run. It was a property hit and run.
Okay, that's a little better. Not great, but a little better. He's just drunk driving, hit a mailbox or something.
His father and him were apparently blasted at like 7 a.m. riding around Scottsdale and hit and run some property.
God bless.
You know, which is really a rite of passage in the state. But if you get caught by the police, the right's over. It's sort of like a Japanese test of courage. But Galchenyuk was caught and resorted to the first thing that came to mind, racial epithets. And
like Mel Gibson before him, and Hulk Hogan, and any others?
Hulkster, of course.
He was threatening to kill all the officers' like families. They're like, all your fucking kids, all your fucking wives, all your fucking daughters will fucking die. Like he was saying crazy shit like that.
Wasn't he threatening them with the Russian mob?
Yeah, he said he was going to decapitate them and that his Russian friends would kill them.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
and then he goes, "You understand I'll chop all your dicks off, right?" That's one of his other lines that he utters between the racial epithets.
Do you think he remembers it at all?
Yeah, he remembers. He wasn't that drunk.
Oh, well, that's much worse.
Well, he said he was going to go and get the help he needs, and the help he needed was a flight to Belarus, apparently, where he can now do meth on the bench for SKS.
Yeah, he also called the officers pussy-ass motherfuckers, which just kind of goes hard a little bit.
That's just a fun, that's just a fun little insult.
That goes hard, I gotta be honest. Like, there's a part of it where, like, some of the insults, I'm like when he's like threatening to chop their dicks off, I'm like, I kind of respect that.
You kind of have to give it to the man,
you know.
Malcolm.
Yeah, apparently one of the officers was quoted in the video being like, "You can't threaten me and then start reaching for stuff," because apparently he kept trying to claw.
I mean, as if Phoenix PD need any more reason to shoot you dead.
And they will. They're looking for anything they can find.
He also kept calling the officers bro. He'd be like, bro, and I'd be like, bro, I'm a professional hockey player. Like,
well, he's in Scottsdale. That's just like you go over the border and your lexicon changes.
He would say things like, "I'm not threatening you," and then moments later be like, "I'm going to chop your fucking neck off," and you're like, "What is happening?"
God damn.
I think we were all shocked that the Flyers didn't pick him up, and I think that was a Tort's pick if he ever seen one.
The Philadelphia Flyers, yeah. I mean, he probably, if they threw batteries at him in Philly, he'd probably throw them back.
He'd probably straighten out. Yeah, that's the rehab he needs. He needs to get
batteries chucked at him after the game. I've learned the folly of my ways.
Yeah, might teach him some handling while he's out there. Of course, we can't ignore the tragic past that Galchenyuk has suffered as well. A very what was it? A very public affair in the NHL that was revealed.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure
because it happened while he was on Canadians. That was the thing that caused it.
Wait, so he got cucked?
Yeah, I think he was publicly cucked by another player, but I can't remember the specifics of it.
Yeah, I think so. What happened was, I believe, when he was on the Canadians, there was he had a teammate named Devontae Smith-Pelly, who I believe cheated, who ended up having a thing with Galchenyuk's then girlfriend. And then it somehow led to her arrest. Like, there was some sort of altercation that happened.
It was a domestic abuse thing. That's right.
Wait, so she was abusing him? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really sad. Like, I remember the narrative at the time being like, Galchenyuk has had it rough, and this kind of thing, I guess you should half expect from Galchenyuk. He was abused by a spouse or partner of his, and he's got problems with drugs and alcohol. And then after that, he's just like, "Oh, I understand the decision of the Coyotes. I'm going to go get help." And then you go to the KHL, which is the place where you don't get help at all. In fact, your problems get worse.
Oh yeah, then you start sniffing the Russian gas, and all of a sudden you're like, you don't remember what month it is.
Just whipping meth, yes.
I recommend, if you're just interested, watching the video, because the video it's insane footage. Because it also he's making all these threats, a lot of times in the back of a cop car, but there's also a period of time where he was on some gravel path. His dad was around. That's the other crazy part, is his dad met up with him because he initially hit the other car.
He's trying to get him back in the truck.
Yeah, his dad was please.
Just trying to fetch him as he's being arrested. No, please, he's fine. He plays in the NHL.
You don't understand. He's a hockey player.
Yeah, and I feel like there's some of those cops must have been we still have a hockey team?
Didn't Coyote Stadium shut down?
He's going to chirp us on his fucking...
Yeah.
You do good one season, Malcolm, and suddenly you got big britches.
Listen, I didn't even reference the arena. I was thinking more of the fact that there's a lot of times where people just wasn't showing up to Coyotes games because they, maybe moved a couple of arenas. Maybe it's not just one arena. Maybe it's 2 or 3.
I'm going to remember this.
There's probably people who don't even realize that Shane Doan's no longer on the team. That it's Josh Doan, his son, is in the organization.
They just see Doan and they're like, wow, he's still playing?
I see a lot of Vancouver fans that don't realize they've evolved past the need to drag their knuckles in the dirt, so maybe keep your trap shut.
We've had 10 years of shit, all right? Give us this.
I hope you get 20 more.
I'm Okay, we got to get off this before it gets too personal. How about I read a listener
As if I am not
question?
getting it enough from every other team in the league.
All right, so this is a question that comes from Harris. Their song recommendation is Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. Great song, wonderful song. But their question is, this is a serious question. If a gang of 8-year-olds descended on you, how many could you take out before they finally kill you?
Oh, this is a classic question asked in many sports interviews for as a fun little haha.
Usually it's like 10 and 12-year-olds though, so eight's a little different.
How many 8-year-olds?
Yeah, how many 8-year-olds could you think you could take out before they finally kill you? I guess this means that like an infinite number of them are coming at you. So eventually they will kill you, but you got to know how many you can take out before they do.
Well, if it's not staggered, not many. I can maybe take out like 3 before I'm just punctured to death because they're all at knee level.
Yeah, that is kind of terrifying. Like if it's like, if it's not like in waves, if it's not staggered, that just means like an endless horde of 8-year-olds are going to just squash you with like their theoretically infinite mass. Let's just say for shits and giggles, they're coming at you one at a time. How many do you think you could take out there, Harper?
Probably like 25, 30. Look, I mean, I'm just going to get tired.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can easily defeat an 8-year-old.
Yeah, but it's how many until you get tired. Like, because like the question for me, like when I'm thinking about this is that, am I going to get adrenaline? Will I have a rush after I kill the first batch?
Malcolm is hoping that he gets like, the mom pulling the collar off her kid, like adrenaline.
Like I go, I just start screaming and like
kicking the shit out of children.
Just me like fucking whipping these 8-year-olds like across the room. Like I want to like
it's the end of Step Brothers.
Yeah, it's like essentially like I want to take an 8-year-old and like just throw it and like take out several more 8-year-olds, like roll up like an 8-year-old and kind of use them as like a bowling ball to like knock out some other 8-year-olds.
So improvised weapon is what you're thinking.
I would definitely use the bodies of other 8-year-olds against further 8-year-olds.
So how many is your number? So you're confident on that? Do you think that's going to give you the tactical edge against Harper?
I'm a big guy. I'm a strong guy. I think I would say I could do 70. 70, 75. Yeah.
They're just all coming at you at once, or
this would be staggered. I think if they were all coming at me at once, maybe I got 15.
Okay. All right.
15, 20.
I just imagine you're standing at one end of a football field and like a theoretical infinite amount of 8-year-olds are on the other side, but they have to get to you first.
Yeah. I got to make sure. The one thing is I got to protect my heels, right? I can't get my Achilles sliced by any of these.
Just they're gnawing.
Yeah. Yeah. But you have to be, because you got to use all your body parts. You're like, you got to kicking's got to be in the equation, punching, throwing, headbutting. Again, you got to use other 8-year-olds to defeat more 8-year-olds.
That's fair. That is complete. So Harper 25 to 30, Malcolm a very brave 70.
Again, I'm also factoring in adrenaline. I'm factoring that I will have an adrenaline.
Malcolm is factoring in monkey strength.
That I will feel more alive with defeating these 8-year-olds than I've ever felt.
And it's just going to play the immigrant song while you do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Robert could take out about 7.
7?
Robert's probably got 7 in him.
Wait. So how many do you think I'm going to take out, Harper?
About 7.
7.
Is that staggered or not?
7.
Staggered.
Why do you think so few? Why do you think so few?
Robert's the type of motherfucker that will look at an 8-year-old being like, please, no, don't want to do this. Instead of doing what
So I have morality.
Yeah, it's inhibiting you from slaying toddlers, which is the objective.
They're not toddlers, granted. I hope my morality would inhibit me from slaying toddlers.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's inhibiting you from killing children. Is that better?
Sure.
I will say my number would go down if it was for 12-year-olds. Like if it was 12-year-olds, there's more of a fight.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
There's going to be some random 6'12" 12-year-old who got puberty really fast, about to come and
no,
kick
but you
your
just got
ass.
to knock him down because he doesn't have a center of gravity yet. You just kind of
he's just some gangly fucking Slender Man motherfucker, just like sprinting towards you.
Yeah, you just bonk him. You just go like bonk.
No, I think I'd probably be able to take out at least 40. It depends on like how I'm doing it. Like they're very low to the ground and my back hurts enough as it is. But I feel like if I could get them staggered and I'm just like like singularly decking them in the nose, waiting for another one to stand up and decking them in the nose like over and over again. I could it probably is not like a permanent solution. Like I'm not killing anybody, but I'm at least like alive for 40 to come at me.
My worry is that I'm feeling very self-conscious about how high my number is with the stag.
You just
because I don't know if you guys are underestimating yourselves or if I'm overestimating myself.
Okay, how about let's think about this in terms of just like mass. What is the average weight of an 8-year-old?
I don't know.
Oh, here we go. It's a hypothetical, so of course Robert has to have an equation that's perfectly calculated to fucking defeat 8-year-olds in combat.
He said this is a serious question. I'm treating it seriously.
How much do they weigh? About what is the average height? Do they have sharp implements? How sharp are their fingernails? Who gives a fuck?
Okay, so Malcolm, so like if the average like weight of an 8-year-old is like 40 to 45 pounds, if you fought 70 of them, that'd be 3,000 pounds of just human flesh.
That doesn't sound right.
Listen, we're talking
70,
about third graders.
45 times 70?
How many third graders do you think you can beat up? That's really what the question is. Not beat up, kill. And it's a survival.
Okay. Okay. If it's kill, I'm revising my answer to being closer to Harper's estimation because I'm going to die before I live with myself of killing.
No, but you're gonna die anyways. Like you're going to die. Like this is like a last
I might not know that. Who knows?
You all know that because they're all coming for you. All right, you know it because
I guess if
you're at the other end of the football field and there's just a wave,
just an endless horizon.
There's a factor there that Robert hasn't accounted for, is that they're on a football field. How will that change your equation, Doctor?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's like
as opposed to being on a playground or a gymnasium.
No, it's every hypothetical, every single one. Robert's just like, what's the size of the airplane? How do I know the trains will collide instead of derailing?
Because those are important. Details are important.
No, they're not important usually, and you're usually just buying time to avoid answering the hypothetical straight up.
I gave an answer, 40 to 45, but I'm going to be a bitch about it, and if I have to kill them, it's going to be like 7 or 10.
All right, well.
My answer, I'm killing them all. Like that's mine wasn't factoring in life.
Malcolm, you are so confident.
I've never been more confident.
I have a lot of experience in the field, though. And,
he's gonna snap like 3 necks and start wheezing.
I'll snap 3 necks and then go into like a fugue state. And just come out the other
guy.
Just come out the other end going, and then it'll be like round 2, and then it's just the next wave. It'll be like
round 2, fight. Right. Who
asked us that question? What's her name?
It was Harris.
Hi, Harris. How many you think you could take, huh?
Yeah.
You're so fucking smart.
You're so fucking strong.
Reply via form or via email to seinfuck@gmail.com.
We don't care.
You know what? Actually,
know how many you could.
I don't know if Harris, if you're listening, you can respond to us, give us the number. But also, I want to hear producer Sasha. Producer Sasha, you chime in. Tell us how many 8-year-olds you could kill. Both in it's to 2 ways. One is wave format. And then the next wave is like it all happening at the same time. I feel
so bad for putting in these parameters. I'm such an asshole.
Keeping in mind, of course, that these 8-year-olds are about 74 pounds apiece, and they're coming at you either in wave or singular format over a football field.
Taylor? Yeah? How many 8-year-olds do you think I could kill? At once or staggered?
At once.
Okay, what about staggered?
Staggered? 15.
She said 15. I think that's respectable.
74 pounds is quite heavy for a kid. Okay, fine. Don't look at me like that. I'm disappointed in myself too.
You guys aren't factoring in adrenaline. I keep talking about this. You got
Shut up with your damn Doom guy kind of a Mick Gordon is going to make the soundtrack for Malcolm killing kids, and none of us are going to be happy about it.
It's it's that classic good guy with a gun. All right, I'm always looking for a good guy with a gun. He's never there. But
Wait, we have a gun now?
No, you don't have a
that's
gun.
great point.
But
if I had a gun, I would like to considerably.
you don't have a gun.
I got to revise my numbers a bit.
What if we added a blade to it? Like, what if we were like, you got a knife. You got one knife.
Well, Malcolm, I don't mean to brag, but I did train under a local hero. Riding the light rail is
One of the greatest. Too bad. What could have been if he didn't drown and clearly trying to fuck that girl.
Pyro Sajiro, the light rail avenger, flowers on his grave. Absolutely.
Every day. I've actually caught him several times at the beginning of each month that he's there, and he's you see a single tear roll down his face as he puts flowers lovingly on the tombstone.
In honor of Cairo Sajiro, of course, I message women and ask them how old they are before I start chatting them.
Cut the butt.
Oh, God.